Sharon Osbourne leaves the talk, CBS says. The television host had defended Piers Morgan, a journalist who questioned an account by Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, about life in Britain's royal family. Sharon Osbourne, a television host who faced criticism for defending contentious remarks by the British journalist Piers Morgan about Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, has decided to leave The Talk, the US daytime talk show, where she worked for more than a decade. Ms. Osbourne is married to the musician Ozzy Osbourne and began her television career in The Osbournes, the Emmy award-winning reality show about their family. She faced criticism this month for publicly defending Mr. Morgan after he questioned an account that Meghan gave to Oprah Winfrey about life in Britain's royal family. Okay, the hosts on those shows are meant to express their opinions. It's meant to be sort of a back and forth sort of thing. There's meant to be drama and heat. So I don't actually understand why it's such a problem. And also she's friends with Piers. Everybody defends their friends. I mean, it's sort of just in the code of friendship. You defend your friends until the end, even if they are absolute and utter twats, which Piers is. So, I mean, I don't see what's so contentious. I mean, she's defending her friend. Okay. In the interview, Meghan told Miss Winfrey that members of the royal household had discouraged her from seeking treatment after she confided in them that she had thoughts of suicide. Mr. Morgan later said on Good Morning Britain, a show that he co-hosted, that he did not believe Meghan's account. When a colleague chided him for trashing Meghan, he stormed off the set and left the show the next day. He said that he believed that Meghan was lying. That's his belief. Again, that's his opinion. He's entitled to it. That doesn't mean that he should be sacked. I mean, he wasn't sacked. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. That week, Miss Osbourne, 68, said on Twitter that she stood by Mr. Morgan, a former tabloid editor and CNN host, who is a friend of hers. People forget that you're paid for your opinion and that you're just speaking your truth, she wrote. During a subsequent episode of The Talk that aired on March 10th, the co-host Cheryl Underwood asked Miss Osbourne about her defense of Mr. Morgan. What would you say to people who say that while you're standing by your friend, it appears that you give validation or safe haven to something that he has uttered that is racist, even if you don't agree? Miss Underwood asked. Ooh. You see, that's difficult because personally, I'm under the belief that everybody is just that little bit racist. We all like to pretend like we're not, like we're all good people, but I don't believe that there's such a thing as a good person, and I believe that everybody has an element of, let's say, racial bias or racial preference or racial awareness that can be disingenuous. So I find this quite hard to critique because everybody isn't as good as they like to think they are. Everybody isn't as woke as they like to think they are. Miss Osbourne says she felt as if she were about to be put in the electric chair because I have a friend who many people think is a racist. Yeah, you see, that's the problem. I mean, I've associated with people, and I would say that even though I don't have the same opinions as a lot of the people I associate with, they have controversial opinions. And I respect public figures who are controversial, like Jordan Peterson. But does that mean that my views align with his? No. I just find what he has to say and his writings interesting, and I respect him as a public intellectual. And I would definitely go to a talk by him. I would definitely get all of my copies of his books signed by him. Does that make me, I don't know what everybody who doesn't like him calls him, probably horrible things, but does that make me that? No. But I would still defend him, not necessarily his views, but his right to have those views. And I feel that that is what Sharon is doing. So how can I be racist about anybody? She asked during an especially tense moment in the exchange. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? Yeah, you see, this is the thing. Whenever somebody is accused of being racist, or even indirectly accused of being racist, insofar as associating with somebody who is deemed to be a racist or a bigot, they then feel this need and they have to defend themselves and say, oh no, I'm not racist, I'm a good person, I know 2 black people, you know. I watch Oprah, I listen to Beyonce. Yeah, I don't agree with that statement, but I feel that everybody makes that statement at least once in their life. I have not met a white person that has not made this statement. That has not had to say, I'm not a racist. Because it just sort of, I feel that it just comes with the territory of being white in today's day and age. At some point, you are gonna have to say it as loudly and as proudly as you can. I am not a racist. You're gonna have to say that. I am not a racist. And then everybody will applaud and will continue with life. Miss Osbourne later posted a statement on Twitter in which she apologized to, and I quote, anyone of color that I offended, and or to anyone that feels confused or let down by what I said. So I'm a person of color. Am I offended by what she said? No. I think the only thing that I found quite unsettling, well, not even unsettling, but just rude in the interview was when she told Miss Underwood not to cry. She's like, don't you try and cry because I should be crying. You know when somebody's lost an argument and they start like having a temper tantrum? She was having the temper tantrum, and that was a bit but nobody should be fired for that, and I wouldn't say that that was racist in any way, shape or form, so yeah. Do I feel confused by what she said? Not at all. No, I'm not confused. This is a woman exhibiting perfect signs of human nature. She's defending her friend who she's known for years. She's also talking openly about how she feels on a show that she's been on for over 10 years. So she's quite comfortable like expressing herself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's fine. So no, I'm not confused. I always knew Sharon Osbourne was quite very stereotypically British in that way. So I mean, whatever. And do I feel let down by what she said? No, I don't feel let down by what you said, Sharon, because I don't really care that much about what you say. It really does not impact my life. I have more important things to think about, like whether I'm going to get Pizza Hut or Domino's tonight. That's all I'm thinking about. That's all I'm confused about, mate. But we shall continue. She said she had panicked, felt blindsided, got defensive, and allowed my fear and horror of being accused of being racist to take over, which is perfectly understandable. Literally, the amount of white people that I've seen doing this is heartbreaking. Oh my gosh. You know, there are real problems with racism, and not just white on black racism, but black on Asian racism, black on white racism, white on Asian, there are real problems with racism all over this world. And this ain't it, chief. This is not it. This is just a business, CBS, taking what all businesses do now. They profit off of wokeness and off of identity politics, and they make money from it. And that inevitably and automatically turns it into a complete facade. As soon as you try to add a financial or capital value to something that is actually really, really meaningful and very personal, and also very much a part of humanity rather than just a part of some economic system, it immediately becomes something that people fight over, people bicker over, something where boundaries are drawn. As soon as you put money into anything, it destroys everything. And this is what has happened with the socio-political movements of our time. They're all sponsored, and so they just lose their credibility instantaneously. This is not racism, like not racism, like not black people being by a majority white police force, or angry black South Africans white farmers and their families in their sleep. Please hear me when I say I do not condone racism, misogyny, or bullying. I should have been more specific about that in my tweet about Mr. Morgan. She didn't act very professionally, but I understand why she didn't, because she went into that primal instinct of defending herself and defending her friend. And so it was no longer about keeping up appearances for the sake of being on TV. It was about something personal. And this is the problem with monetizing personal shit. When you put money and ratings onto something like that. And I do feel that an element of this was set up, because it was set up in order to ask her a question about something personal, which would inevitably result in a personal and heartfelt response, which is what happened. So I don't know what they expected. And now they got exactly what they wanted. Ratings. CBS got exactly what it wanted. Ratings. And they've kicked out Sharon. I love racial justice. It's so great. On Friday, CBS said in a statement that Sharon Osbourne has decided to leave the talk. Yeah, she left with a little push. It added that her behaviour toward her co-host during the March 10th episode did not align with our values for a respectful workplace. It doesn't align with their business model, which means inclusivity equals bank. A spokesman for Ms. Osbourne, Howard Bragman, said in an email that he had no comment on her departure from the show. The talk has been on a hiatus since mid-March. CBS said on Friday that the show would resume airing original episodes on April 12th. It also said it had found no evidence that executives at the network had orchestrated the discussion or blindsided any of the hosts. But the network said it was accountable for what happened during the March 10th broadcast because Ms. Osbourne and her co-hosts were not properly prepared by the staff for a complex and sensitive discussion involving race. End of article. Right, so what did I learn from that? I learned that it is never a good idea to mix very personal social issues and even personal friendships and relationships in business. People think that Sharon Osbourne is like the worst racist since a certain moustached man in Germany in the 1930s and 40s, and Pierce as well. And you know what? They're just bougie English people who are quite self-entitled, selfish, spoiled, immature, superficial, full of Botox. But you know what? They're not doing anything to anyone, or they're not doing anything worse to anyone that the rest of us aren't doing. So, you know what? I don't know why she had to leave. Let the woman talk. I mean, for goodness sake. Dominoes. I'm getting dominoes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.